A very, very good evening. This is Arnav Chaudhary. You are on my YouTube channel, arunfoot. And Sunday, April the 6th, 2025, will go into the history of Indian football for a number of different reasons. Let's talk about those reasons of what has all happened today or not happened today, or what the outcomes can be. First of all, Bengaluru FC scored a late goal through Sunil Chhetri to lose 2-1 to FC Goa, but still 3-2 on aggregate, go into the finals of the Indian Super League. Earlier in the afternoon, we had matches in the I-League, 3 matches in parallel. Real Kashmir FC held Churchill Brothers to a 1-1 draw. Gokulam Kerala in the end lost 3-4 to Dempo SC. And Inter-Kashi scored 2 injury time goals to win 3-1 against Rajasthan United. And who's the champions of the I-League? As per today, people will say that Churchill Brothers are the champions. But if things go the normal route, then Inter-Kashi should be declared champions. And let's see. Good evening, Giron Rare. Giron Rare says, Manolo was crying over officiating, but for me, this is the game of the season where officiating was top-notch on the spot. Listen, we've been crying about this, or people have been crying about this left, right, front, back, center, that the referees are this, the referees are that. And to me, I think the refereeing has been better this season overall. And I want to speak as little as I want about refereeing. I think the teams themselves have the opportunities to win and to lose games. And I think rather than focusing on the refereeing, I think the team should focus on their own game, on their own performances rather than the referees. But again, then I could bring out all the Mumbai City stories that I have. Someone actually has come back to me with a very, very interesting piece of stat, how many points Mumbai City should be getting. So therefore, let's stay out of it. Hi, Welsian. This match lived up to its billing. What a match. What a finish. I'll give credit to the FC Goa. They gave a chase like no other, but this man defies the doubters and shows he still got it. Goat for a reason. Yep. Sunil Chhetri once again did it. That's Sunil for you, for me, for everybody. He can be that difference maker, and even at his age, he defies logic. Good evening, Ishan. An absolute cracker of a game that was. Yes, it was. BFC win, says Varun. And SCT says, who is I-League champions? SCT, did we see the AIFF announce an I-League champion? If not, then we know where the whole situation is. Again, that's the situation. Giannis says I-League champ is not declared yet. One Namdhari versus Kashi Point issue get clear, things will come out. That's one. And there's also the Namdhari versus Sporting Club Bengaluru, which could be also looked at, which would then mean that actually Sporting Club Bengaluru stay in the league and Aizawl FC could still get relegated. What a day of Indian football watching Inter-Kashi win at Kalyani, and now Sunil let winner. Yeah, blue, very, very special. But you add AIFF ruined their league, would have been best league race. Yes, they did. And, there are a lot of questions. And anybody celebrating Churchill supposedly winning the I-League, sorry, with all respect, with all dignity, Churchill Brothers didn't win the I-League, period. Anyone who says that, you're anti-Indian football. Let's call these people out. We see what kind of people those are. You're anti-Indian football, and let's start calling people out on that. Fanai with such a mature performance, Gurpreet Singh Sandhu with a brilliant double save. Yeah, Ishan, Fanai has been doing better towards the latter part of the season. Seemed to have found his ground, unlike Harsh Patre or others at BFC who haven't. So therefore, credit goes to him. It's a it's an interesting situation per se that BFC have with these young players. Sadiku did dirty with Taro. That was not needed. Says Gendra. Did I miss something? I didn't see that. What did he do? Sorry, didn't see that. They missed it most probably. Whatever they did or didn't do on that occasion, right? Very, very, yeah, crazy things. You know, and yeah, that's why. You know, that is the scenario, I think, in regard to what all has been is and has been happening. I think Bengaluru FC's tactics in the first half didn't work out. Ishan, if you allow FC Goa to get back into the game, you know, and you could have taken this match into extra time, that says something. And you know, and as you add, Pereira shouldn't have started in place of Williams. Yeah, those are small little things that can be looked at and discussed. And sorry, let's stay with that. You know, Zaragoza tried a few things out. I think he's also trying to balance the amount of matches that the players have played, and from that perspective, it didn't work for them. And yeah, it's an interesting scenario to think about those things and look at. I don't know, Shiva Shakti has been getting a lot of opportunities lately, but has he really performed on that level? I don't think so. So today was Real Madrid versus Barca legend match, 2-0 win for Real Madrid. Okay, actually, with all the serious football going on in Indian football today, with the ISL semifinals, with the last match day of the I-League, you know, this whole Legends game most probably came about in a, you know, on a wrong day most probably, but I honestly haven't been following it. Don't even know who played, how they played, what they played, you know, and yeah, I'll be honest on that. So therefore, to me, I wasn't bothered actually about it. Chelsea Brothers was in title race because of a handball against Intakashi. The unknown, again, a lot of mistakes from the referees. You know, to me, it's been an issue now for a while, and again, if you even got messages from people telling me, oh, you know, this is happening, that is happening, and I said, I know the Intakashi guys, there are a lot of perceptions about them with contacts, this and that and everything, but not everything in Indian football is a conspiracy. Right? There's a lot of conspiracies going on, this contact, those contact. A lot of the people don't do the things that people think that are happening. That's the biggest thing. Someone puts out something into the market and says, this has happened, or that's happening. And then you check with those people and they don't even know what people, you know, what's supposedly happened. And that's quite funny that I've seen this now quite a few number of times that's happened. You know, in Takashi, you know, close to this guy, close to that guy, close to this person or that person, or supposedly because of this and that. And again, knowing them, it wasn't true. So I was in Mumbai at DY Patil Stadium. Okay, Mayank, how was the experience? How was it? How many people do you think were there at the DY Patil to see these former legends play tonight? Shiva Shakti gave away the penalty to make things work. Referee didn't see it. They scored off it. So decision didn't really matter. Yeah, very, very true. So therefore, there are a few players where I have my doubts or had my doubts or have my doubts, to be very, very honest. And you know, and at the moment, I would say that those things have been sadly proven right. And let's see. Acha. So yeah, I know it was at DY Patil. Sorry, Mike. I thought you were at the stadium. Sorry, my mistake. It's a shame AIFF taking this long to make a decision. SCT, there is no decision to be made because the AIFF has taken decision, you know, which in the first instance, disciplinary committee and then by the appeals committee was right. And then you turn it around on flimsical ground. So if anybody is talking about that, that the AIFF system is rigged, then please, start questioning Churchill Brothers, start questioning their friends who've been supporting them. Even some of the guys in the media are supporting them. I think those guys need to be called out and they need to be questioned, right? Some of the big ones. BFC survivor scare, woman, huge scare, right? I mean, in a normal instance, I guess this match goes into extra time, and to me, yeah, that could have worked, but didn't happen. But Sunil once more showed his class and earned his team a place in the finals. I mean, I said it last weekend in Mumbai, actually, to a couple of guys. If BFC play the way they've been playing towards the end of the season, I feel BFC could be a contender for the League Cup, and to me, it looks like they could be actually a serious contender. Congratulations, Inter Kashi, on ISL promotion. Aditya, maybe too early to put out the promotions, knowing how things run in Indian football at this moment in time, as chaotic as it is. There is no, I guess, congratulations to be given here or there to anybody. Let's wait and see what decisions come out. And let's see what happens. But normally, if the things happen the way it happens, then let's see. Your prediction for tomorrow, Ishan, I think it'll be a 2 or 3-0 for Mohun Bagan. I don't see Jamshedpur without Stephen Eze creating too much of a problem for the Mariners, and we will most probably see next Saturday a final between Mohun Bagan Supergiant and Bengaluru FC. BFC woke up after FC scored 2 goals. Yeah, I would agree on that point. I think BFC realized, if we don't do anything, towards the end, we might be in trouble, and that's something which they woke up, and Mr. Chetri didn't disappoint. Mike says, sir, last time when you saw Chetri celebrate scoring goal, last time I saw him, you mean did we now see him the last time score, you mean? Or do you mean that the last time I saw him live, do you mean, Mayank? Edgar Mendes had a fabulous game, in my opinion, gave his 200%. Yeah, but again, I go back to last Saturday. Edgar Mendes should have been off with the red card after 10 seconds. But hey, who's going to talk about it? Right? So these are all realities of, you have to have sometimes also luck on your side to for things to work in your favor. And that's how it is. And sometimes it is. Let's see. So when scoring goal, he's not silver. Acha, you mean that? Sunil, the older Sunil, let's put it this way, the older Sunil Chetri nowadays rarely celebrates a goal, and wants to get on with the game, right? And therefore, that's how he does it. By the way, why in a recent I-League 2 team owner is making 1 minute video trying to prove teams win in ground is real winner, blah, blah, blah. Still didn't get. Why does he hate Inter Kashi FC? Sorry, which I-League? Are we talking about a friend or something? I think Bengaluru FC came into this game with the thought of keeping the 2-0 aggregate as it is and just defend. See, that's if you have a 2-goal advantage, most of the teams in the world, be it Champions League, be it the other competitions, most teams would do that, right? I mean, that's the most, let's put this, a natural thing to do. You don't go all out trying to win a game when you have that kind of an advantage. And I think Bangalore FC did that. And again, FC Goa are good enough at home. To me is that's the thing. Hi Utsav, why do you think Interkashi hasn't won the league? They got 3 points from Damdari already. Utsav, they haven't. They did, and then the points were taken back. So now the AIFF is saying that the case will be handled by the end of this month. So technically they have won the league, but practically haven't. So therefore we'll have to wait a little longer and see what decision that the AIFF comes around, and then we'll talk about it at the time. But normally, if it is as it should be, Interkashi with 42 points have actually won the league. Pedro Capo didn't get a single yellow card this season. Really hidden gem. Yes, says Guillaume Rare. Says, so who's winning I-League? Interkashi or Church Brothers? When would it come? Aram, in my opinion, it is Interkashi. And if it is not Interkashi, then Interkashi will, I surely think, forget Indian courts, they'll go to CAS. And at CAS, I don't see that there is, and that would be embarrassing for the AIFF down the road. So let's see what the AIFF does. But this whole thing is just a disgrace what these people have done. Talking about Messiah Blue, it's disgraceful what this gentleman is doing. And the time has come. I hope at some stage FIFA ethics or something steps in and actually takes him out for life, because the harm these kind of people are creating for Indian football, just terrible. So next season, will there be ISL? Just asking because the contract is still year end. At the moment, there is no ISL. Let's be clear about that. Because the contract runs out, and if FSTL can't run a whole season, how can you have an ISL? And all that's happening in and around the AIFF at the moment. That's why I did that video yesterday calling it, is the AIFF football house on fire? These people systematically are doing things which is harming Indian football at the end of the day. So therefore, for me, at this moment, on this day, on the 6th of April 2025, there will be no ISL. Right? That's the reality. What FC Madras plan? Why they don't have senior team in I-League 2? Aram, they're focusing on grassroots and youth, so they don't have a senior team at the moment. Any league around the world where something like this has happened, Blues somewhere or the other, surely it will have happened in the past. But again, in today's world, with the possibilities and capabilities, you should be able to decide these kind of things. Therefore, I feel this is very, very shocking, to say the least. And this decision could have been taken on Friday and Saturday. But again, then also the hearings regarding the secretary and other things, let's see. Fulham beat Liverpool today. What a game that was. 3-2 for Fulham. Incredible. Who do you think will be accountable for FC Goa loss? CEO, CTO? This is now happening each and every time. Gaurav, first of all, it has to be the players. Because if you're leading 2-0, you have to see out that 2-0 and then get into extra time and then see what happens, right? At the end of the day, it's a failure of the club. Yes, 100%. But again, is there accountability at that level? We've discussed it the other day. I don't see that, right? So let's see. Can team refuse to play a match due to weather conditions or pollution because people often complain? Not about pollution, Murali. You can say that you turn down to play a match when, let's say, in winter conditions, or if it's too watery because of heavy rains, that can be factors to deny, but that normally is on the referee to decide. By the way, is there any Mohammedan Sporting? Will they play Super Cup? Seems no clue. I have no clue. Honestly, Mohammedan Sporting is another sort of enigma. And I said that last summer. The question needed to be to FSDL is that, do you really want to get Mohammedan Sporting into the ISL level? Let's wait and see. But yeah, they better build a stadium in UP. If not Varanasi, then at least in Lucknow. If not, they will be another Kolkata team marketing on Varanasi name. Utsav, they're working on playing in UP, but it is Varanasi that they are targeting or wanting to play in Banaras. The only problem is that it's dependent on with the government, because in India, nobody's building their own stadium. So therefore, that's the problem. Would any team sign Thomas Bidar? He's a good coach. Still, Chennai FC removed him. Feel sad for him. I'm not sure. He's at the moment in Albania, quite successful over there. So I don't see him coming back at the moment. By the way, who own Interkashi? Are owners rich enough to invest in infrastructure? Utsav, the owners have deep enough pockets. They want to do some stuff for football in UP and in India. Infrastructure, of course, as I said, is something which is very complicated. Is it true Shachi Group pulling out of Mohammedan Sporting? A city, I've not heard anything that confirms that. Who will get promoted? What do you think? Anit, if there is anything to go by, it is Interkashi. Those 3 points were theirs. There was a mistake from Namdhari, the mistake is on Namdhari and not on the AIFF. And if they don't give them the points back, it would be, it is already a scandal in the way that things have happened, but then it would be even bigger scandal. If Interkashi wins, where would they play? Aram, as far as I know, they're trying to play in Benares. So let's see what happens in the next few months. If, again, there are lots of ifs and buts at the moment. First, if will the ISL continue? Second, if will there be who's going to get promoted? So therefore, a lot of ifs and buts at the moment. Habas on fire, says Mayank. If this game had gone into extra time, do you feel FC Goa would have pulled off with a win? Woman, extra time is a very difficult thing to judge, because it depends how fit are your players, what's the mentality of your team. But if you ask me, I would have thought, yes, FC Goa coming from 2 goals down, getting to a 2-2, most probably they would have been had an advantage. As an Indian, we often get negative image about India when we participate in international match. Apart from few sports, people have bad opinion. Okay, Morali. Everyone are happy for promotion, but we don't know, will there be ISL next season? Yeah, that's a reality. What is the role of the coach in national team? Are they responsible to teach basics? Nixon, I remember under Stephen in his first stint, under Bob, they actually used to work on the basics. It is normally not the responsibility or the role of a national team coach to teach basics, but if the team is so poor and so bad, sometimes you have to do that. So therefore, yeah, that's a reality. In coming ISL, would there be 14 teams since there is no relegation? At the moment, if it is normal, there would be 14 teams. Do you know why Interkashi is not awarded points? Is it some Churchill influence, incompetence of AIFF? A combination of those 2 points that you mentioned. Government contribution versus corporate contribution to sports, who contribute more? Corporate, 100%. A guy from Punjab tweeted and congratulated your brothers on winning. He doesn't have own sense why he do like this. I cannot understand. Let's ignore such people. My advice to you guys is, ignore such people. Best thing to do. Sir, in theory, can ID club qualify for FC Champions League 2 playoffs? Yes, they can. They have to just win the Super Cup. Sir, a monthly decision to come from court? No, I don't. don't think so. Once Owen Coyle said, "Give me budget like Mohun Bagan, I'll win Shield for you every year." Is this a good statement from my profile coach? I think he's a clown. Perfect. Prefer. Don't take all of the statements seriously. That would be my advice. Security concern in Kolkata, one of the incidents happened last game in Jamshedpur. To me, the reality is somewhere in between. I think it's not a one-sided thing for this side or for that side. I think both sides have to be blamed for the situation. And again, I don't know how many Jamshedpur fans actually travel. Why India not organized information part in sports, but they want to play international match unrealistic dreamland? Yeah, one of the big problems. U23 squad, no update. Why? Because there are no matches at the moment, Aram, for them, right? So therefore, there's no comment. Is the AFC spot in Super Cup winner? Yes, Arnav, it is for the Super Cup winner. If there would be no ISL, then there would be new league. Aram, nobody knows. Yeah. So nobody knows what the future holds. What will happen if they leave? I think it's very, very chaotic at the moment. Nobody has a clarity of where we are going or heading at this moment in time, and that's, I think, a big, big danger when it comes to Indian football. That things are very, very unclear where we are heading. What difference does it make if FSTL exit Indian football? There were a lot of promises made in 2004 in regard to national team ranking, participation, World Cup, etc. Nothing achieved. Gaurav, there was, as far as I know, and being as someone was involved, there were never promises made regard to national team ranking or participation in World Cup. That was the ultimate aim. That is the ultimate dream. But there were never promises made on that regard. They wanted very, very clearly, Mrs. Ambani said that multiple times, that they want to improve Indian football. Have they achieved it? No. And if they exit, now, we're talking about 50 crores that they pay the AIFF every year, plus the money that Reliance spends on running the ISL, running RFDL, all the other things. Is it another 100 crores plus? So you think that tomorrow, if they go on, 150 crores are out of the system, and the AIFF is not even going to be able to generate 1 rupee at this moment in time, then what's going to happen, right? Steven said Ashik was scouted from he was playing on streets. Okay, Mank. Can we say foreign clubs set up India because of financial market capture? What about setting up in Japan? The same agenda. Yeah, Murali, when clubs from Europe or other parts of the world come, of course, it's about money. Yeah, it's China, it's Japan, it's Southeast Asia, Australia, it's America, everywhere. Is Super Cup the same cup where armed forces teams play too? Also qualifies in Super Cup in our league? No, the armed forces play in the Duran Cup. That's the season opener. The Super Cup will have all the ISL teams plus normally the three top teams from the I-League. But let's see who's going to play in that. People are often misguided by value of the team rather than what actually they contribute. Yeah, one of the problems. Now Manolo full-time national team coach. No, Mayank, he still has to play the Super Cup. So therefore, no, he's not yet. I heard that few clubs don't want to participate in the Super Cup. Is there any potential in this news? Yeah, on rare, potentially. Yes, it could be a problem, but it seems like nobody knows what the current status is of this whole thing. So we'll have to wait and see. All right, more than 30 minutes, guys, already. If you haven't, you're liking the conversation, you're liking what we're speaking about, do leave a like behind. Only 7 likes so far. I think we can do better than that. Share it with other people as well to potentially join us in our daily conversations which we're trying to do in the evening. And yeah, subscribe to the channel. 2,482 subscribers. Thank you very, very much. We're slowly creeping up to the 2,500 mark. So thanks a lot, everybody, on that. And again, keep on supporting the channel. Thank you very much for that. If something like Inter-Kashi FC point situation happens in ISIS, decision taken by AIFF or FSTR? AIFF, because it goes to the disciplinary committee. So it is an AIFF decision, but that AIFF decision would be jointly with FSTR. Will there be a longer camp for the June window? Yeah, Rishabh, I think so, because once the Super Cup is through, players will be sent, I guess, maybe for a week or 10 days, maybe 2 weeks on holiday or a break. And then they come back and prepare for, first of all, Asian Cup qualifiers and then for the SAF Championship. Sir, in your opinion, why has broadcasting viewers decreased? I remember in early days of ISO with average viewership was close to top European league. Utsav, because the fans don't think that the league is of quality. I think a lot of fans are not interested because and that, and again, but the viewership even of the European leagues in India has dropped quite a bit. Japan got jumped to 15th in FIFA ranking, such a huge boost for Asian football overall. Yeah, here and rare. What are the things which annoy in Indian sports in general? Lack of leadership, you know. Right? Lack of leadership, lack of structure, lack of governance. Morally, the list, if I want to, could be very, very long. Steven said Manvi was scouted from university football. Is it true? I think he was playing for in Punjab. Was it Punjab University? Was it Punjab University? I think it was Punjab University from where Manvir was scouted, if I'm not wrong. I think so. Second AFC slot should be given to ISL Cup winners or second on the table Super Cup winners, not worth. Varun, I've explained this multiple times in my lives. Look up earlier lives on that matter. Around the world, normally the first spot of a continental competition normally goes to the league winners. In this case, league winners means the ISL League Shield winners and not the ISL Cup winners. And second spot normally goes to the Cup winners. And if there is a third spot or more, then it goes to the league winners. So therefore, that is something which is an unwritten rule, right? That there was in football always. So therefore, there is no second slot to be given to an ISL Cup winners or to the second place team in the league. Why did ISL remove marquee player clause? Because of wanting to spend less, very simply. Any news on friendly Hong Kong game, Rishabh? No. Listen, the federation is in such a mess at this moment that let's see if they're going to organize the Super Cup properly, right? And that's things are that bad at the moment. Any instance you felt certain player not technical, but they can read the game and fight attitude? Yeah. Morally, there are all kinds of players. You'll have players who are either technical good, or they can read the game, or they have a fighting attitude, or players who have 2 or 3 attributes, or even more together in one. Hi, Sterling. I'm an FC Goa fan since season 1. I just got back from the stadium. How do we go from here? It's the same story every year. Thing goes liver for Thor that haunt us each time now. Sterling, I think it's hard. I remember I was there at the final in 2015 against Chennai, right? Goa scored a second goal. You think they won, and then they concede 2, yeah, there seems to be something with FC Goa that, they're not able to win in the ISL playoffs anymore. Hi, Zoravar. Welcome back. Where would you place your players in terms of quality? Better than most of our national team players. I think the FC Goa fans are very silent compared to some other fans of clubs like Kerala Blasters FC, Mohun Bagan Supergiant, East Bengal, etc. Just imagine how those fans reacted if the same situation happened with their club losing semi-final. Gaurav, not only FC Goa, there are certain fan groups which are not as vocal or as loud as some, as you say, the Blasters, Mohun Bagan, East Bengal, Mohammedan are most probably the loudest of all fan groups in India. Yes, it's true. In 2015, Iran being the best team in Asia by rank was around 51. Now more teams have reached that mark or near it. Most teams have progressed and we have progressed backwards. Rushabh, yes, but I also say that don't take the rankings too seriously. Right? That's another point that for me is very, very important. We can talk about the FIFA rankings. Do you think that we are 127 or 126, 125 at the moment? Do you think that when we were in the top 100 that we were a top 100 side in the rankings? So therefore, these rankings, the world would have to play each other, let's say once every 2 years to give a realistic outlook on what the rankings are. You can manipulate it this way or that way. Therefore, I don't get carried away by these rankings. Churchill Brothers players and management began celebrations, but what about the hearing? Sterling, they're trying to create a situation that the people think that they have won. I find that embarrassing to say the least. Yeah, nothing much to add to that. I think it's very, very sad, so that's why, yeah. If any current India origin player playing in the top level world, yeah, Murali, there are origin players at the top level in other countries, yes. This season, I feel Bengaluru FC blessed because Suresh, Sunil, Roshan, Sana have their best season of life, plus they supported foreign as well. Yeah, can be said. How long we're going to remain AIFF president by this year or by next 4? Zoravar, I can't give you an answer on that. And I'll be honest on it. It is so chaotic at the moment that I can't tell you where this journey on this front or that front or whatever front is going. It's just, yeah, to call it insane is, I think, very, very nice at the moment, what's happening. Yeah, we had that. Bengaluru FC peaked at the playoffs. I see them winning cup from here. Yeah, Zoravar, I said that after the Mumbai City match to some people. Yeah, so right time, I would say. Next Gen Cup is solely organized by FSTL, right? No, it's organized by the Premier League, not by FSTL. Indian clubs are guest clubs to participate. So News 9 have scouted young kids and sent them to Austria. Have you heard the news? Yes, Mayank, and forget it. It's of no use. Ranji Bharat want to sell Delhi FC, but AIFF didn't allow. I don't think they didn't allow. I think nobody wanted to buy. So how are sports like hockey, athletics, kabaddi, badminton, basket doing in India? Are these leagues breaking even or are they too losing money? Utsav, all leagues outside of cricket are losing money. All leagues. There is no league which is breaking even. No franchises who are breaking even. Everyone is losing money. Football Federation said fans who abuse player using racism will be banned. What about fans booing? Booing is, listen, some sort of criticism needs to be allowed. Racism or, homophobia or, other things are very, very bad. So let's see. Shrachi is about to pull out from funding Mohammedan Sporting. AIFF has given them deadline, or else Mohammedan Sporting will get relegated. I think not AIFF, but I think FSDL has given them the deadline that they need to put their financial house in order. Otherwise, there are problems coming. Consonant said Sunil done by 2019 shows our development process and priority. Murali, even Stephen Constantine, not everything that he says will be right. I mean, yeah, rankings are right. It's the yellow rankings will show our true place. I mean, most Asian nations have progressed, right? Jordan reaching the final, Indonesia with the origins. Rushabh, they've improved, but have they improved on a global stage? That is my counter question. That's my counter argument, because also in Europe, smaller teams have progressed. So African teams have progressed. Teams in North America have progressed. Are there any recent examples when Asian countries have worked well on their system and improved their game massive without origin players? Vietnam would have been a good case 4 or 5 years ago, I guess. But even now, Vietnam, of course, is banking on origin players. So why, Mayank? Again, there are a lot of these programs. Even I have worked on certain programs like these. None of these are programs. These are nice. These are nice PR stories. But these kind of programs are not going to take Indian football forward or anywhere. Sorry to break that myth. That's sadly the reality of things, and I hope that something changes. But at the moment, nothing's going to happen. Minerva still exists, and the academy was entirely replaced by Delhi FC. It exists. And Delhi FC is just mainly a senior team, and some teams I think at the grassroots, but Minerva Academy, yes, surely exists. Any instance you felt politician has been huge hindrance Indian sports, vice versa? Have they contributed to your encounter? Morally, I've encountered both. There are politicians who've done what they were needed to do to help sports. But I've also experienced situations where politicians, bureaucrats, even have hindered the development of sports, or again, own interest, whatever. All these things are always again there again. How do you identify real football development and PR thing? Real football development is when the difficulty is actually one has to personally see it, physically see it and understand what is happening. Otherwise, very, very difficult, because otherwise we're talking about it, and these are nice stories, but nothing is happening. So, yeah, if you ask me, PR is there's too much of social media talk in PR. There are a lot of people who talk about things, but do they know? It is a problem. It's a problem, in my opinion. The social media world sometimes not a help. How can we reduce the number of teams in ISL if it continues? Trevor, the question is what I've asked to certain people involved in the ISL is, where do we want to go? What should be the journey? What should be the standard? Where do we need to go regarding top level football? And to me, my concern is that by the growth of the ISL in regard to number of teams in the ISL plus I League as such, we now have top 25 teams in 2 leagues. Do we have the player material? And what is coming through from the lower levels, from the youth levels, from the lower leagues is not good enough. So that is a conversation we need to have. It's like, where is the talent, that we need to that we can fill 12, 13, 14 teams at the top level and 12 teams at least, if not more, in the second tier. Very, very big problems, very big questions. What's happening? East Bengal close to signing Miguel Ferreira. Okay, Zonavar, seems to be a lot of conversation about his name. Yeah. I remember that documentary by Discovery and 2 kids sent to QPR. Were they actually good, or was it PR? Rushabh, they were picked up from the South Mumbai. What is it called? South Mumbai, QPR South Mumbai Youth Challenge. I think that tournament still happens. And if you see that documentary, I'm one of the persons who's in the documentary. 2 very talented kids, totally different backgrounds. Sean from a lower middle class background in Mumbai, and what was the other kid's name? Forgot his name. Rather from a rich background, but both get to QPR and realize the reality is it was March, April, it was cold. So therefore, both of them had their chances. Sean played to a certain level, but then I don't know if he still plays lower level Mumbai League football. The other boys stopped relatively early, but both of them Yeah, I remember one of the coach. I still know one of the coaches who was there at the program at the time. I said, "Listen, if these guys had been taken out early enough out of the Indian football system, most probably we could have done something with them." And that's something, which is the reality of things. And yeah, it didn't work out, and disappointing to say the least. But yeah, so therefore, it's not you know. So therefore, yeah. Is any instance politician occupying FIFA chair, but I feel other parts of the politician helped a lot compared to India's Saudi League run by politician, but the priority was in the politician difference. Yeah, could be. Well, it could be seen like that. Okay, that's it. Referee. So Life with Return wants to say referee performance not good enough today, and on the other side, he wants the introduction of VR. In my opinion, not happening anytime soon. As much as fans, people want it, but at the moment, I don't see VR happening. A few weeks back, you said that by next 3 weeks, the fate of ISO will be decided. What's the update? There is none. I said it should be decided. You know, I think with the whole situation, it's not helping, and I wouldn't know if I was Reliance and FSDI, and you tell me to organize a league, and I say, yeah, but I don't have the rights after December. What do you do with the league in Jan? I don't know if you want to start the league. So I think 16 is the sweet number where we'll have enough matches and competitiveness. They should freeze it after 16. What's up? 16 is way too many at the moment. I think a 10-team league is the right size for us. Keep 10, 12, maybe even 14 in I-League. Increase I-League 2. That's the reality. And I-League 2 is a good example. I've been here. I've spoken to a few coaches in I-League 2. And they say, don't watch it. The standard is sometimes so bad. No foreigners, huh? Israel beating Brazil in recent due to certain countries and unsung player like North Korea. Where did Israel beat Brazil? Did I miss something? Really? And North Korea performance in Olympics better? No, they're not shocked. I think they don't bother, Murali. Maybe you bother, but no. Didn't Boca Juniors field a team in Mumbai's lower division for I know they were worse? Rushabh, that was not Boca Juniors, but the Boca Juniors Academy. It plays, I don't know if it still plays, it used to play in Bangalore in the youth competitions over there. But that's a football school sort of thing playing, right? What led to Brazil downfall in football since once the powers losing to weaker teams? Just take the recent humiliation against Argentina. So rather, they have the talent, but they don't seem to have the team. I think that's the problem with the Brazilians. Look at the Brazilian attacking line, amongst the best in the world, but they don't have a team at the moment. Hi, Uchut. You joined late today. Yes, you did. So the league champion will decide it off the field. Yes, it will be. I mean, if it goes by the way it should be, then Inter Kashi are champions. Anything else than Inter Kashi being named champions would be most probably the biggest scandal in Indian football. We've had a lot of them recently, but that would be a huge scandal in my opinion. Right. And let's see who all are trying to pull strings here and there. It's very, very funny. And it's funny that a lot of people seem to know things when I say you don't have a clue what you're talking about. My biggest concern is a lot of people have opinions and all. Listen, anybody in the world is entitled to his or her opinion. No problem. But then to sell it on social media or sell it on, I know this, I know that, and you don't know anything. You don't have a effing clue of what you know. You think you know. The domestic talent pool doesn't support so many teams. Do you feel reducing number of teams can help with the overpaying issue of players as it would lead to more competition for big paychecks? Yeah, Toba, very, very well put question from your side. I do feel for Indian club football, it would be better to have a smaller ISF because we have blown it up. And to me, that's the only solution. Have you felt that if we were previous regime, still now we would have been a better place by now? Yes. Again, with all our problems that we have faced or are facing, sorry, let me get some sip of water. But the earlier regime with, put something together over the last few years. India was North Korea drawn in AFC U17. Okay. Morally, this shows Indian players are lacking game awareness. I just they have a clear-cut chance if you can kick the ball away from Gurpreet Singh Sandhu and Goa, FC Goa in another way. Although it's a quick decision, but it's a miss. Okay, Aman. If I-League 2 is that bad, how bad is I-League 3? Zarawa, let's not even get into I-League 3. Let's not even watch some of the local leagues. Our football standards are dropping dramatically. And that's the problem, right? That's the problem that we have at the moment, that our standards are dropping. What's better, more foreigners in starting 11 versus less foreigners with better quality? Rushabh, if I take the I-League 2 as an example at the moment, right, with no foreigners at all, the standard is very, very poor. Look at some of the local leagues. I know people tell me this and I think it is poor. And we have to accept it. Why audience and revenue not generated same as Europe in Copa is quality or only a few big teams? Europe is the powerhouse of football. I know there are a lot of fans in South American football, but again, South America financially is never even close to Europe, so therefore that comparison doesn't work. So what are you saying? 10 teams and on that 6 teams play playoff. Any top team can play reserve players to qualify for playoff. Qualify for playoff alone should be tough, let alone winning it. Utsav, if we've got 10 teams, I think we would only have a top 4. Maybe even do a top 5, maybe. But I wouldn't have a top 6. But at 13 teams, we don't have the quality for 13 teams, right? Mohammedan, sometimes okay. Look at Hyderabad. We don't have the quality. Do you feel social media influencer marketing person doesn't know damn thing they're talking about? Yes, Murali. I do feel that sometimes, with all due respect to everybody else, a lot of people just speculate without knowing facts. And that for me is that's why I say, if I don't know, I don't know. I will tell you I do not know. So for me, that's true. If I don't know, I don't know. I can't, again, I'm not all knowing. I'm not all compassing. I can't be following everything, right? So therefore, doesn't make sense. Was that boot penalty FC was basically? Yeah, but not given, no? People often say Tata Football Academy used to produce better player compared to the. Yes, Morali, they did produce better players. Think about the Indian junior team de facto was the Tata Football Academy, and the Tata Football Academy used to produce 25 players who used to go directly into the system. Even the worst player in the Tata Football Academy used to go into the top team. Aren't Maldives fielding foreign players? Why are they not improving like Bangladesh, Bhutan, Sri Lanka? I see India slipping to 150 after Asian Cup. Orijit, Maldives to me doesn't field foreign players. Even Bhutan is not, but Bangladesh and Sri Lanka are not even fielding foreign players, but players of origin. That's the difference. Let's see where we do go. Do you think removing foreigners removed our standards? I feel previous CFL players were better than now. Yes. I think even if you said, listen, I will only allow 2 foreigners per team. Let's say you sign 3 and let 2 play. The competitiveness, the quality will be better. And I think, let's see. Is it all due to poor football academies in India? If we want to say that in the end, Zoravar, yes. I think it's a big problem for Indian football. It's the academies, the clubs, the franchises, all who are trying to do youth football. The coaches, all of them have failed. Right? That makes no sense. What if we set up I-League 3 as U19 only? Rohit, makes no sense. This is senior level football. This is the bridge. I-League 3 is the bridge between national level football, regional and local football. That is a men's competition. That's why I also don't like the way that, for example, the CFL is structured in Calcutta, which still has age group competitions in the CFL. Totally useless. So therefore, and you mentioned I-League 3 should be under 19, I-League 2 should be under 23. Makes no sense. These boys need to be exposed to men's football. That's why I said Indian Arrows program, very important that they should be back in the, that to me makes no sense. Aman says Mohun and Sporting and others, they do not have quality. Okay. Manchester Derby finished with a hard-fought goalless draw, says Monak. Okay. UEFA type league in Asia possible? Nixon, we already have our 3-tier system since this season in Asia. So therefore we have that. But I think if you're talking about Nations League, I don't think Nations League. There have been talks in Asia. I don't know if they're going to do it. Are we sure that players in ISL right now are the best we got compared to the Indians, not also because that are playing in the other league outside, also include you to 20? See, there will be the one or the other exception, Pranjal, but I think the best players in the Indian ecosystem are currently playing in the ISL. I know a lot of people tell me, oh, you know what, I didn't get a chance here, there, whatever, blah, blah, blah. See, everyone wants to be successful. Everyone wants to make a quick buck sometimes, right? And then they'll take the right players. And if you're not good enough, you're not good enough. Has anybody complained to FIFA regarding Mohun and Sporting? Saw a report about transfer of shares, etc., etc. I think some of the foreigners had gone this season. I don't know what the status is at the moment. By the way, your opinion about Mumbaikar, Barcelona fans booing Figo in airport seems very cringe. Most of them probably didn't born when he left Barcelona for Real. Let him do it. Yeah. I think Luis Figo has seen much, much worse than booing at a Mumbai airport. So, yeah, it's if they enjoy it, let them do it. If players like Rahim Ali are the top academy prospects in India, just imagine the quality of the rest. In every other country, old players get replaced by young ones. Here, it's the opposite. So, Raval, I'll tell you a story. I've been seeing Rahim Ali for a while, right? I mean, he's someone who I'd see junior level, footballer. Was part for the under-17 World Cup squad. I expected more of him, but I expected more of that whole under-17 squad, which hasn't been able to perform, to be honest. So, yeah, it's we have a huge quality problem, right? And think about that. Generally, people used to say bad things about Rahul Beke. Rahul Beke is one of our most consistent players. Mehtab Singh. I mean, Rahul Beke and Mehtab Singh were both regarded in East Bengal of not being good enough to play at I-League level when they used to play for East Bengal. Look at how far they've come. National team players, both of them now. Do you think similar reduction should be done? I-League 2, I-League 3? Jobo, I think we need to think about it. I think I-League 12 teams is okay. I-League 2 is 9 teams. I think I-League 2 you can increase. And I-League 3, I would like to see as a regional league rather than being a competition where you can play. So if you ask me that, I think that should be the the approach. I feel I-League 2 without foreigners is a conundrum. You field foreigners, we don't get strikers and playmakers more with only Indian players. Quality is poor. That's the catch-22 situation with football at the moment. You play the foreigners, then they take away positions because then the spine or the key positions are taken up by the foreigners. If you don't play the foreigners, the quality is not good enough, and the young ones, they need to roughen up, they need to toughen up, and that doesn't happen. And then they come into the I-League. Some of them go into the ISL, and then the competition stuff. I mean, the rare exceptions are there. Irfan Yadwad is an exception, right? Irfan Yadwad went from Bengaluru United I-League 2 to Chennai, but that's an exception, and he's succeeded. A country where the top young talents lacks the basic of football, the quality of the rest can be foreseen. Ravar very well said. Very, very simple issue and problem is in there, right? When what you say. So that's the issue. Right, over an hour already. If you haven't, you're liking the conversation, 14 likes so far. Do share with others. Let's keep on trying to grow the community. We are at 2,483. So we're slowly inching towards the 2,500 mark. So as always, thank you very much for your support. So what's your opinion on Cape football tournament? See, it's for rural Bengal, for the suburbs of Kolkata, it's a form of entertainment. And let's see it as that. And it's an opportunity for small-time players to also earn money. Can Australia compete against big team in Europe like Japan? At the moment, no, Murali. Today, amazing penalty save by Real Kashmir goalkeeper. Yes, Akshay, he did make a great save. A current CFL player plays with us during their office season, majority of the year. They struggle to score against us. Myself is 39, an IT pro. This shows the stand of CFL. Hope he isn't watching. Yeah, I got that off-season thing. Monak, in 2023, was playing five-a-side football in Kolkata. Right, I'm in my 40s. Right now, I would say I have to say I'm in my later 40s. But again, 2 years ago, and I'm not a world-class footballer. Right, I never was. I never will be. So I know my levels. But I played against players who played ISL, I-League, and ISL, CFL, and all, and the standard, even 2 years ago. Worrying, because I can cope with them. I was physically able to body players, game intelligence, complete lack of it. It is very, very worrying. So yeah, that's the reality of where we are. So listening to you really get depressed. It's like we have never achieved anything football terms. No, Utsav, the potential is there, right? But we live in a small little own world, in a small little own bubble, and we've never reached the levels that we think what we could and should reach, right? That's the problem. I think IS and I-League should have 2 foreigners in first 11. Ochud will not work. If you make 2 foreigners per team, the standards will drop dramatically. Look at my best example was last season's Super Cup final between East Bengal and Odisha FC. Why was it so good? Because both teams were playing more than 4 foreigners, right? So the number of foreigners reduced, the worse the game gets. Without having proper basics, how come scouts select them? Murali, they're the best of the lot. There are no other players are better. Maybe scrap I-League 3 altogether and make I-League 2 a bridge from state clubs, which could have leave money for F to invest somewhere else. I don't think that makes sense. I think we need a three-tier national level competition and then have a regional thing, which is I-League 3 is not a regional thing, but it's played in groups rather than in competitions. Therefore, I don't know if it's the restructuring will happen in the proper way or not. Last year, AIFF live stream U13, U15 league. This year, none. So cash crunch, financial issues in the federation. So therefore, that's the problem. With boring development of Odisha FC, looks like Dobera might leave and women's team downfall from IWL title fighting as relegation this season. Roshan, finance, right? I think, Rohan spoke about it on Twitter at some stage, right? That's saying that they've been not getting the support from the government, from sponsors. Yeah, that's the reality. But don't you think we should just arrange a camp and give all the players a try just to make sure we aren't missing a decent player considering how miserable we are right now? You can do that, Panju, right? But I don't think you'll, as I've said multiple times, if there is an exceptional talent, that talent will come through, will shine through, because we are so bad at this moment. Now, were you sure when you played against the ISL players, you mentioned when maybe too polite to play active, enough against you? No. Because there were some older players playing who played with me and against me, and they know if I play, I remember on the five-a-side ground, Salt Lake Stadium, I scored. Yeah, I scored. Actually, it was a good goal. But I was told that exceptional. Everyone, oh, Dada, how you just score that? I was like, I moved into a gap, and I didn't use power. I just chipped the keeper, and chipped the keeper in the sense of that I chipped the ball just underneath the bar into that small goal. And everyone's like, and I said, guys, use your brains. You're just using power. They were just trying to boom, 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 play the ball, So therefore, I would say football economy is the culprit for the sad state of Indian football. I wouldn't say that. The whole ecosystem is to blame. Out of 13 teams, each having 9 Indians, don't you think we have that many talented players? Quality will drop. Quality will drop dramatically. That's what I'm saying. Fulham beating Liverpool, very shocking. Yeah, but that happens, right? Once in a while. I think ISL should have 6 foreigners. But 6 foreigners again is a little too many. I think the 4 is the right number. But if you want to improve, most probably it's 5. But again, let's see. OFC is shifting state once again, according to reports. Zorawar, I said that is a possible chance, a possible danger. Let's see if they leave. Let's see. People have been criticizing players a bit too much for poor basics. No, they deserve it, right? Right. That's, to me, the basics are poor. When is the SAF Championship draw going to happen? Rishabh, some stage this month, if I remember right. I don't know the date. Read that 100 crores are being spent on Argentina Legends exhibition match in AIFF not getting 50 crores and the irony. Ocho, that is money which is being generated outside of the Indian football ecosystem. That is money that was never coming to Indian football, would come. It's like the Real Barca thing tonight in Mumbai. That money is not coming into Indian football. It's the Brazil versus India game last week, that money that's gone into it. All these monies that are going into football in India, but not going into Indian football. That's the reality. Okay, were you a professional footballer past Zorawar? No, not even close. Never a senior level club football player. So no, forget it. But I play for fun, right? I play for fun. I was jokingly telling someone this afternoon, we were at a football ground, I was telling, you know what? My brain knows what to do, but my body can't get me there anymore. So that's the reality. Ruchap says, Achut, it's corporate money and they're going to get it back if you give that money to AIFF. Are they going to make any returns? Rushabh, the corporates are not going to make that money back. If you're bringing in Argentina, what's the value? It's a sponsorship, right? A lot of these, even in cricket, a lot of sponsorships makes no sense. We don't need an exceptional talent, just decent enough to win against oakish teams. Pranjal, my example is a different one. My example is that if we have exceptional talent, that exceptional talent would take us somewhere, right? So for me, the question is if we have that exceptional talent, because people tell me that we have talents and we don't find them. If we have exceptional talent, that exceptional talent would come through the system, despite the system sort of, people will say blocking the development of talent. 10 years ago, I'd seen these Bengal players at CCFC far better standard than today. Agree, Uchut? I see some of the boys. Let's see if I hope I'll be back April, May. When the Parsi five-a-side tournaments, you played in it. You see the old guys, quality. Also, what's going to happen in I-League? Pranjal, in a normal instance, Inter Kashi would have to be declared champions. Anything else is wrong, period. How can AIFF overturn their own decision twice? Sterling, that's the problem. That is the problem with the AIFF. And to answer your second question, can Children Brothers take legal action? How? Why? They are not party of this whole thing, right? In Super Cup, less than 16 teams playing, only 2 I-League teams interested, and still no proper response from ISL teams, FS Circus Company. Yeah, actually, a lot of problems. Minerva U13 defeated Bacham Football School U13 31-0 in U13 league. Yeah, but Zorawar, the Punjab Bacham Football School, how good it is. How good is BBFS, right? BBFS is playing with its team across the country. I wouldn't be able to tell you how good BBFS is in that part of the country. Dada, let's play five-a-side game someday. Yeah, Rishabh, why not? I haven't played in Mumbai five-a-side. When was the last time? 2016, 2017, I think. I was looking at a ground the other day in Bandra when I was driving, or was being driven past that. Sorry. Would love to play. Haven't played in Mumbai for a while. The way AIFF handled money in recent past, I feel there is a breach of trust by AIFF and corporate investors. All the corporates will be skeptical before investing in Indian football. Monok, that's a huge problem. And the huge problem is the lack of what is going to be the future, right? I think that's another problem. Where are we heading at the moment is a question that nobody can genuinely answer you, right? That's a big question. Opinion, we are struggling at all fronts. And look, and I spoke to corporate sports investors when I was in India, and no one genuinely said, you know what, I want to invest in Indian football. Someone actually came to me and he wanted to spend a certain amount. I told him, try and invest into grassroots and youth football. If you don't want your money will be gone anyway. So if you even invested at senior level, I said, you invested in grassroots and youth football. Build the infrastructure, build the ecosystem. Kolkata Football League system is far better than ISL and I-League. Who says that, Akshay? How can you say that? The Calcutta Football League in itself isn't a joke. Right? Look at the mess that the IFA has been in the last 3 years in trying to finalize the champions of the CFL. And the lower structures, the lower league structures with those age group competitions is a complete joke. So, to me, makes no sense. So how will we improve the coaching like a pan-India level, or create small sections and focus on that system? Renal, it needs to come first from the coaches, that the coaches want to be better. The coaches nowadays, a lot of them understandably want jobs. And if you want jobs in a lot of clubs, schools, academies, football training centers, it's about short-term success. attracting kids, getting more, right? So that system is wrong. That overall system is a problem in Indian football, and therefore we're not moving forward. So what's next for Mumbai City? Jojo, a big rebuild. That's what Mumbai City at this moment in time need, because otherwise, we're not gonna, we're not gonna progress, because Mumbai City, disappointing season. And there's a lot of players who failed this season. So therefore, let's see what they do. Why India is struggling to produce even one exceptional talent? Is it cultural inferior? Anything else? An exceptional talent should be able to come through regarding any infra coaching deficiency. One second. Sorry, guys. For me, if you ask me, Zorawar, that's a very good question. I've asked myself this question again and again and again. I've never found an answer to this, because of course we'll say, oh, you know what, you've got exceptional talents in Brazil, in Argentina. We've had exceptional talent from Germany, from Spain, from England. We now have exceptional talent in, let's say, Portugal, France, Norway. I honestly don't know. I don't think it's a cultural thing or a genetics inferiority thing per se, but I don't know what I don't know what the real answer to that is, to be very honest. I couldn't give you one, but to me there is no logic why we are not able to find or create something of a better talent. Is there any chance for the election to select new AIFF president? Bobby, I can't tell you anything on that, because it depends on what the Supreme Court does. From what I'd heard earlier, it looked like that a final decision would be made on 25th of March, on the match day, India versus Bangladesh. That has now been pushed. Hearing on 2nd, now another one on the 16th. I honestly don't know when they're going to get that constitution through, and then, whatever happens behind it. Till the 2000s, this was happening with players like Sunil coming through. A decade before him, we had Vijay and Baichung. Something has happened post 2010s. Zorawar, they were not coming through. Let's be very clear. Vijan, yes, exceptional talent, was found juggling the football in Thrissur by someone in Kerala police, put him into a system, and whatever system it wasn't a system like it is today, and the rest, as they say, is history. Baichung, impressed through the cup, joins East Bengal, Rajpurohit, England, goes over to the Asian Games in December 1998 in Thailand, in Bangkok. Sees Bhutia, says, listen, I'll try and get you chances in Europe. And the rest is history. Sunil was a failure, let's be honest. Sunil came to Mohun Bagan, wasn't good enough. Left for JCT, and reselected his career. Went first to the US, failed in the US, failed in Portugal, but till today, even today, it's so important that he can make a difference. So yes, we were. Post 2010, I would not agree with you. Where it's gone. If you talk about 2010s, I would say the only real talent that I saw in the young age was Lalan Zola Chante. 2015, first time, right? But after that, I don't know. Today's players, and you're right, the current generation talents are nowhere near Baichung, Vijay, and Masuru. The problem is that look at the players who are coming through. We're producing a lot of wingers, for example, who are all a little shorter, faster, nippy, but you're not going to win anything internationally with those players. So that's my concern. If you ask me where we stand at this moment in time in regard to our players, we're not producing what we need. Any chance of OCP introduction national team? Shubhrajit, good evening. I don't know. It's an issue that needs to be addressed by the government. They need to look at it, and as long as they don't look at it, there's going to be no change to the issue. The AIFF, I think, is very, very clear. They would love to have PIOCIs, but it's not their decision. Is it possible, Prafulji, to come back? Well, in theory, why not? But I don't know if he would like to. Except even the exceptional ones. Yeah, that's the problem, right? In my opinion, still local scouting is non-existent. Kids out there who don't end up within the system, whether exceptional talent or not, it's a different thing. They fail to bring those talents in the system. It's spanning their problem. And Rishabh, I would disagree on that point out of own experience. It is a problem in large parts of the country, I agree. But the best talents get through in Mizoram. The best talents get through in Manipur. The best talents will get through in other parts of India. And as said, if there is an exceptional talent playing somewhere, someone will shout out and say, listen, I've got this kid. He's really, really good. Have a look at him. Right? So therefore, to me, that's there. That's a given. The question now is, how can you ensure that this kid or that kid gets through to the top level? Right? That's where we are failing. That's where we're faltering, because we're not getting the kids to the level that we think that they should be able to. And therefore, that's a big challenge at this moment in time. And we're not getting the kids, that's something. Something has happened post 2010 as even a plan, yeah. Surya Baichung of Vijayankaliva has come. It's 25, which is more than a decade. So Rava, we've tried to standardize. We've grown our network, right? We have gone for quantity instead of quality, be it for players, be it for coaches, be it for everyone, everything. And in my opinion, that has harmed Indian football if you look at it in the mid to long term, right? Because we're not producing elite anymore, or elite is coming through. We are being sold something as elite, which is mediocre at best. That's my problem with the system. What about participation? Is enough people playing football seriously? Topa, I think participation is good, but to me, explain me one logic. Any one of you, all of you are welcome to put in a guess. And I've said this a few times. Tata Football Academy with 25 players as cadets every 2 years coming through the system had higher level of talent than, I don't know how many thousands of kids come through every year through the system. Now, how can it be that if I look at, and I-League 2, I think is a very good point, that the quality is so bad that in the third tier of Indian football, we're not finding Indian strikers. And you can't blame it on foreigners. There are no foreigners in that league, right? That means that at local level, the standard is even worse. So therefore, that is the problem. We've gone for mass instead of class, right? Quantity instead of quality. And that is hurting us a lot. Without PIOCI, we are going nowhere, period. Shubhrajit, I said that 2+ decades ago. Exactly what you're saying. But we've not done anything to solve this, right? So therefore, we are where we are. Some good talents are available among NRI kids in UAE. Bobby, and I take Sahal as my good example, right? Sahal is UAE born. Technically, for Indian standard, a very good player. Tactically, a big zero, right? Coaches have tried and given up. I know quite a few of them. And that's going to be your soccer school UAE kids. Not going to be good enough in that to take us to the next level. AIFF been like, Panchi Vanu Utte Fire Mast. Oh, Angry Birds. What my concern is, any kid, be it exceptionally talented or not, if she knows how to play decent football, they aren't brought in the system for Mumbai. I can say it with confidence. They aren't brought in the system. Rishabh, I've heard the same thing from certain people in Mumbai. Some other people have said something else. But if there is someone with exceptional talent, and she is serious about football, they would go somewhere else. Right? That happens. That happens. That's happening. And yeah, that's the reality. Zarava says, Mr. Bhomik, our PM says on podcast that Indian football has improved significantly in quality in the last 2 years. Yeah, Zarava, that's the problem, right? Especially our women are doing good and our men are doing also good. What are we talking about, right? Don't you think we have just started youth development scheme in the last 3 to 4 years, which was probably non-existent? It might take some time before reaping its fruits. Angry Birds youth system in some sort of form way has been running in Indian football now at least for 2 decades, even more. Some of them are running now for 25 years. So therefore, the end product, the joke is without a system, we were better than with the system we have now. There are guys like me who begged for a school team. We didn't know or were aware of how to make it within the system. And clubs near me, we had to pay before we make it in the team. Rishabh, that is also a reality. But I also say, if you are good enough, if you are really good enough, and if you are persistent, some opportunity will come your way. Someone or the other, if you're really good, someone will recognize that. And then it's not about creating a team or having to pay to get into a team or club or whatever. Someone or the other would pick it up. This is how I give Shantana to myself. Because it's sometimes difficult. Now Indonesia U17 beat South Korea without origin. Vietnam drawing Australia. This is where India should start performing. XYZ, we were performing, no? We have gone back over the last 5-6 years dramatically. Look at the team that was captain of Vikram Pratap. 1-0 loss to South Korea, right? Even though South Korea was much better, but I'm not going to go into that discussion. But we are a little further away at the moment. Overnader, do you have any knowledge whether any kind of scouting happens in Durgapur or not? These schools boys play better football than some ISL players. See, Angry Birds, you might think that these schoolboys will be better than the ISL players, but let them, if you really think that they are better, they will not be better. That's the first problem. Does scouting happen? Yes, I know that some of the teams, some of the scouts are there, but it's not to the extent that it needs to be there. The problem is an average kid till he reaches the age of 14, 15. If he isn't in the system, she ends up in our effed up education system giving entrance exams. Rishabh, also problem. The education system 100% is a downturn in regard to getting people to do sports, and that's a huge problem. To be honest, in general, across all sports, even cricket, there is a general decrease in quality and intensity within Indian players. Yes, the talent pool has increased much more, just like you said, more quantity. Thanks, Devu. Yeah, and it's in football. I think it's a general problem. Football has become much more physical. Football has become much more fast-paced, but has global football also really improved? I I think a generation earlier the football was better than it is now. Now it's you know yeah we want those players who can make those differences, right? Why don't you get involved with basketball in India as well, as it's rapidly rising quarterfinals and three versus three is still the main competition remaining? All this without league, maybe something big can happen. XYZ, I know uh, the guys who are running the basketball system in India. I wish them all the best. But and they have a league. They just held the league in January, February. So I know them. So let's see how far they get and how far three versus three India can get, because it's always dependent on a group of four people. It's like Germany winning the Olympic gold medal. It's on a group of four girls who did it. And yeah, let's see what happens. My focus is handball for the moment. Sunil does it, hate him, love him, cannot question his dedication. Very, very true, Stephen. When I used to play with guys who are better than me from second and third tier of MFL, I got better. Then they even said, "Why don't you go for a trial?" I was like, I didn't even know. Yeah, that's also true. A lot of people don't know about these things, especially in a place like Mumbai. It can be difficult, right? I don't think it's a problem in other sports other than football, which is weird. No, too. I think it's a general problem. I think I agree on that with Devu. Where we are we are not where we should need to be, and that's a big problem in India and Indian sports, and yeah, that's why we are where we are, and we are failing regularly, so to say, on that front, and yeah, it's a problem. Hi Kumar, welcome. Right, 1.5 hours already crossed. If you haven't, do leave a like behind, do leave a share behind, and yeah, as always, thank you for that. 17 likes so far. I think we can do better, guys. And if you want to come back for regular updates, do come back to the channel. We're 2,484 tonight. So let's wait and see what happens. Devo answers to was saying now there is this year Olympics was the best example. We came fourth like 7 or 8 times. The mentality is lacking Indians. Remember, India choked in ICC finals till 2024 T20 World Cup. Okay. Kumar says, what about circus in football appeals committee? Let's wait and see what's the next one to happen, Kumar. Who won the I-League? Inter Kashi or Churchill Brothers? Whole thing is just a mess. PC Game Attack, to me, Inter Kashi should be afterwards declared champions. Anything else would be shameless and scandalous. Before lockdown, I almost made it into a third division team, but yeah, thanks to lockdown, it effed up everything else. I would have been an average struggling bowler who gets paid maybe 100 to 500 per game. Yeah, but COVID also has its negative impact on football in India, and that's a reality. And yeah, very, very difficult. In I-League champion decision. Yeah, I know, Kumar. Let's wait and see what happens. Sorry, I'm late to the stream. Which sport you were involved in this time? You went to India for 2 weeks. My friend this was sent me here. Stephen, I have been now for the last 6 months working on handball and India. Hopefully, we have something to announce next week. So looking forward to that. Let's see if we are ready for what we want to put out in the public domain. Yeah, let's hope we can make that public, and let's see how we can grow handball in India. Another Interkashi can go to CAS or not? I'm just asking a query. Kumar, they will first have to go back to the appeals committee and the AIFF, because they have given a deadline. Now Interkashi can put pressure on the AIFF and say, guys, take a decision, or we go to gas. So therefore, let's wait and see what the AIFF does. The next 2-3 days could be very interesting on this matter, or otherwise it drags on. So let's see what happens. You may find it hard to believe, even in cricket, the quality of players have degraded significantly compared to last decade. So Robert, I can't judge the standard of cricket, or don't know the standard of cricket, so therefore I can't say anything. But if you say that, I would think so, because I feel football also, to me, if I look at 2014 World Cup quality, if I look at the Euros 2024, I would always say 2014 World Cup was our higher standard. What are Interkashi owner plans in UP? Are they going to build a small stadium decent enough for ISL standard? Rishabh, they're not building any stadium. They've now taken over certain grounds to allow their youth teams to play in Kashi. They've started even a women's team, which is playing IWL 2. So that's the thing, and they're now, I think, trying to work out with the government to get a stadium ready for if the ISL comes around for them later in the year. No current great in cricketers near the caliber of Sachin or Dravid. Okay, so now I wonder why the biggest nations have the population kind of fail in football. USA, China, India, while Brazil was an exception. Brazil is an exception because Brazil was successful and had a Pelé. I think you need that one exceptional player at the right time to grow the sport. Look at I don't know, other countries would be, Maradona. Look at here in Germany, Fritz Walter, Franz Beckenbauer, Johan Cruyff in the Netherlands. Eusebio was the big thing in Portugal, and then Ronaldo took it to the next level. So these things are there, right? Another, what appeals committee does not follow CAS decision? What will happen to AIFF? Kumar, they will have to follow a CAS decision. CAS is higher authority than AIFF appeals committee. Who watches women's football? Forgetting in women's football. Nixon, I think people do watch it. It's got its honest, loyal fan base in an Indian context. So yeah, they're there. Tobu says more than 10 athletes finished top 4 in their respective sports. That in itself is a first and improvement from the previous year, even though we got a few medals less because we got unlucky. Tobo, there is luck is something, we can talk about luck or about, you being unlucky. And you say, so therefore for me, India was more successful, but finishing 4th is already, finishing second in Olympics is already a failure to some. So therefore, India needs to pull us as socks because others are working hard as well. Steven says, Renava, I'm 39-year-old. I started supporting India late when I was 14. I know you have been supporting India more than 40 years, I guess. How are you still positive? I'm losing hope. Steven, it is sometimes difficult. Days like this, when you see some of the people putting out the stuff that they put out, which are wrong, which are simply wrong, it is very hard, tough, depressing. But I still, there's someone in me who always hopes, thinks about the best, and let's see. Tomo, that's what I'm telling you. We have great talent pool, but don't have the key to unlock the potential. Okay. They won't be playing in UP, right, if they are to be promoted to ISL. Rishabh, they're trying, as far as I know. If that will be possible, that's the question to be seen. Who's the coach of the Indian women's national team? Joachim Alexanderson is the coach of the under-17s and under-20s. He coached it for a while, and Crispin Chetri was the coach in the last window. Right, so that's there. Why ask this question? A great Indian I-League team will simply go to Indian court if the decision does not come in their way. Kumar, they can go to an Indian court, but once CAS has made a decision and announced that decision, the Indian court, it's not in their jurisdiction. Those who follow cricket really would know the talent pool is a different level and increasing, so it makes no sense. Okay, Tobo. Now the unlucky as an injury in the middle of the competition, other weight-related issues. Okay. What is your current lookout for Indian football as a whole, and how many or how much time will it take us to see or find a suitable national team with or without OCI or PIO? Well, Zian, to me, I think the OCI PIO issue needs to be sorted for once and for all, and a positive outcome. Because without that, given the realities, and we've just been speaking about the realities, I think we've not produced good talent over the last decade. Reality. And if we want to blame it on the ISL, a lot of people do that. It's not going to happen. It is the whole system which needs to question itself, and that's the challenge. That's the challenge. The whole system needs to question itself, and then blame it to here, there. It's not going to work. We should not see down on women athletes. Most of our medals in Olympics were won by women. That's very true, Stephen. Wasn't Santosh Kashyap coach of women's senior team? Rishabh, that was last year. There have been more coaches in the meantime. If you consider current gen cricket as better than the early 2000s, you are an IPL kid, says Uravar. Okay. Now, it was good in 2019. Everything just went downhill from there. Angry Birds, I would not say that. See, because it might have looked that things are good, things are better. But were they really? That would be my question to you, to anybody, because Stephen got a lot out of that team. He got a lot out of that Asian Cup squad. And the problems at youth level were already there, right? I mean, the problem wasn't that we were producing quality players, right? So that's it. What do you think are odds of beating Thailand in the women's qualifiers? Would we pull off a draw and would have to score more goals than Thailand? Rishabh, Thailand is bringing in X number of players from around the world. I think it's difficult. The fact that India being a 139 team and still attracting legends like Puyo, Fuga, Paper, and where FIFA's heavily interested in popularizing football in this border country. Debu, these legends go anywhere there's money to play. Right? These clubs go, the legends go, they even go to dictatorships or whatever other countries, right? So therefore, that is not, and if FIFA is still interested in it, they're less interested today than they were 10 years ago. If you think the early 2000 bowling lineup is even comparable to the current one, then you really don't know. Okay, guys, I'm out of this cricket discussion. What's the future of Indian football? I don't know. I always would have had an answer to you. Even if you asked me 1 year ago, I would have had an answer. The chaos at the moment is so much in the background. People are so destructive. So therefore, the AIFF needs to sort itself out. The clubs need to sort themselves out. The academies, the coaches, players, everyone. That's not happening. Do you see any chance that AIFF won't give the points to Kashi? Yeah, could be. With the AIFF, anything is possible at the moment. Do you see any positive on the RFTL? Stephen, first of all, the positive is that's happening. But it's not producing talent at the level that you suddenly see next season. These kids are suddenly forcing their way into the ISL. That's the biggest problem. I don't see the current quality of Infobos qualifying for Asian Cup in future. Zoraba, that's the concern. We really don't understand the potential football holes in India once India somehow qualifies for a World Cup, but yeah, somehow. Devu, I agree on you on that point. But qualifying for the World Cup is we've moved further away, both in the men's and the women's game. So therefore, that's the problem. Now everything was a facade on Indian players' quality with results with vision document papers. See the vision document papers. We've had a vision 2010, then Lakshya, then the 2013 vision, and then some other visions, now 2047. Visions are nice to have. And my question to Rob Barn, to Scott O'Donnell at the time in 2013 was at a conference in Goa. I like that vision document that they put. Lakshya is good, but how realistically, how pragmatically can we implement it? And Scott was, let me get this right. Scott was with me on a panel. Yeah, that was the case. Scott was with me on a panel, and he said, in the current given scenario, we are not able to implement it. Those are the words of Scott O'Donnell, then part of the technical staff of the AIFF. And then I asked him, I remember, I said, yeah, but then why produce such a document? He said, for once, we need to put it down on paper that what should be done for Indian football. And I remember he was very, very true, very, very right. And yeah, but nothing really happened from that vision document to the reality. Okay, let's not get into that cricket discussion you guys are having. With the direction which AIFF is heading, do you think AIFF will meet the same fate as Indian Hockey Federation, get replaced by some other body similar to Hockey India? Interesting thought, Devu. I am not sure where this whole thing, where the circus, where this carnival is heading. Honestly, I don't know. If you'd ask me, replacing a defunct AIFF might be something to look at. Would it happen? I'm not sure. Most of the vision document pragmatism and execution reality and on-ground issues. Okay, Kumar. With the current quality of Indian talent at max, we can win 2 more SAF championship at max. After that, even winning SAF will be improbable with the dashboard players coming in for the rest SAF nations. Yeah. Right. So, yeah, brutal. The realities are brutal at home. Isn't it also embarrassing that Inter-Kashi have begun celebrations? Why, Sterling? Isn't it more embarrassing for Churchill brothers who are wrongfully celebrating a championship? Inter-Kashi, for me, are the real true champions. Churchill brothers are not champions. And Churchill brothers last week, come on, that goal, which was never a goal, and all of those tamashas that they've been pulling off, they should be ashamed. I think Inter-Kashi, for me, are genuine champions. And yeah, that's what I'm saying. Inter-Kashi are genuine champions. To me, 100%. And anybody who's supporting Churchill brothers on this, shame on you. Everybody who's doing that, shame on you. Because you are then frauds. As you should be called out. Anybody celebrating Churchill brothers' triumph is an Indian football fraud. Very, very simple. Let's call him out. Right? It's this thing, yeah. It's embarrassing to say the least. Right. 1 hour 49 minutes nearly. If you haven't do like, share and subscribe, as I always say. Let's keep on growing the community. Let's have honest discussions on this channel, right? And as I say, if I don't know something, I will not know something. That will happen once in a while. But let's keep on having the conversation. So that's it. I was supporting on Bayam Vijay and Bachung later Sunchetri. I don't see any good striker coming up. No. That's my fear. I also appreciate you having the session early as per IST as I requested you. Yes, Sterling, as I said, sometimes it works out. As I said, 9:45 is my ideal time, or 10 o'clock. Sorry, I came on a little late today, but I try and keep it as early as I can. SAF team will do pushovers on Indian team. Hope not, Kumar, but that could happen. No, we will win SAF as we're going to be the only nation participation in it. Okay, if Kalyan Chaube is to be removed, I guess Bachung will be a strong candidate. But what concerns me is he's pushing his own politics. We need someone who doesn't have political ambitions aside from football. I'm not sure, Rishabh, that Bhai is a real contender. If I look at the structure of, Indian football. So I don't see him really moving up or stepping up. I wonder what Churchill brothers want. If they think they can survive in ISL, they should see the plight of Mohun and Sporting. So, these guys ideally don't want an ISL. These guys ideally want that 16-team at the league that the AIFF was talking about, and then don't pay the money themselves. So it's in shambles. This whole thing is in shambles, and these people have taken Indian football for a ride out of their own interest, out of their own egos, and they don't care about Indian football. Sorry to say that. Yeah, it's embarrassing to see guys like him congratulating winning the I-League. Surely stealing. Very, 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 very poor. And again, fraud. Really good in comparison to Kalyan Chaubey. That's the reality, right? I think we realized from a president's position, we realized from a coach's position, once the people were gone, or secretary position, those people were gone, and how good they were. Myanmar and Hong Kong will qualify for Asian Cup. Write it down. Okay, let's see XYZ. Still hoping somehow against wishes and hope that we do, because the future, as we discussed right now, is even worse. Right. Guys, I'll slowly come to an end on this Sunday evening with this live on a day that, Sunil Chetri turned back the clock, scored an important goal for BFC despite losing 1-2, but they won 3-2 on aggregate to reach the Indian Super League final. And on another side, in the I-League, Gokulam Kerala lost 3-4 to Dempo Sports Club in an exciting game. Real Kashmir held Churchill Brothers to a 1-1 draw. And Inter Kashi scored 2 injury time goals to win 3-1 against Rajasthan United. And if we go back to what should be the real standings, then it can only be that Inter Kashi are the new champions of the I-League. But we will find out what the AIFF does and how far in the courts this matter will be taken. How many times can a appeals committee? Once, not twice, not thrice, but once. And then I never thought this much crap is there in the AIFF Indian football circuit. Never see this shambles in my life. Kumar, I said, and I say this, you guys know about 5% what is really happening in the background. After 5 years, who knows? You might be pleading to get back. Can't you replace a future president? I hope not, but yeah. You're welcome, Sterling. Good night to you. And nobody seriously taken on. There are people who take him seriously. Probably the worst gone club. Never known a player produced by them, says an hour. Yeah, that's very true. Always I remember they used to be the club who used to be built on a lot of Manipuris. These days also Manipuris and Mizos. But again, I give them some credit that they've actually spent money on Indian football. But again, have they brought something in football? Questionable. Right. Thanks a lot, guys. I'll try and be back tomorrow evening with another live. Do keep watching arunfoot. If you haven't, like, share, subscribe. Watch the other videos. Produce a lot of short videos in the last few days. And I'll catch you very soon. Good night, everyone.